Good morning, YouTube. I'm about as awake as a run-over pigeon. It is roughly 6:15, I think, on a Monday morning. I am just about to go and ride some horses. I just need to find some enthusiasm. Why is there is a hair on my hat. I need to find some enthusiasm. You're the first person I've spoken to this morning, so this is why my voice sounds like this. So, yes, a filter will be going on my face because I look horrendous. Right, today I'm going to ride Callie, do some flat work. Then just got Tushka to lunge, so she came back from Blue Chip last week, so she's had 3 days off, so she'll just have a light lunch today, just to give her a leg stretch and sort of gentle her back into some work. Anyway, that's the plan. But my riding boots, my at-home riding boots, the zip broke on Saturday, which I'm very, very sad about, so I'm having to ride in my show boots, which I'm not that big a fan of. So need to, at some point, get my riding boots fixed, or maybe a new pair of boots? I don't know. I'm undecided. It is cold. At least relatively nice morning so far. First off, going to grab Callie, who has as much enthusiasm as I do this morning, which is exactly 0. Though I do think she is still in season, so I'll let her off. And I do very much appreciate a horse that comes to the gate to be caught. As they live out, it makes my life 10 times quicker and easier. One pony. Then time to tack up and turn Callie into bat horse. And before anyone asks, yes, her rug is covered in sausage dog print, of course. She somehow absolutely trashed the inside lining of this rug earlier in the year, and I had to repair it using tent repair tape. Just an FYI, it works quite well. Just about to put her bridle on. See if you can spot my trick for horses that are tricky with the bit. I don't really know why Callie is still tricky to put the bit in. She's totally fine when it's in and has had her teeth checked on a regular basis. I kind of just think of this as one of Callie's quirks now and just use my trick as it keeps her happy and means she's salivating, which I like to see when they've got a bit in. This also took me an unnecessarily long time to put her bat hood on this morning. I do think it's ever so slightly too small. It's the medium size and she is quite a big horse, but equally she's not complaining about it and it's the only one that I've got, so we deal. I absolutely cannot wait for the mornings where I don't have to wear 2 coats in the morning just to stay warm. Watching this back does make me realise quite how much on a go slow I am first thing in the morning. Bat horse is actually starting to look quite smart now that she's losing her winter woolies. She was so sharp and hot to ride this winter that clipping her was absolutely not an option. Off with the rug and time to replace it for an equally leery printed numner, or saddlecloth, depending on... I don't actually know what the difference between a numner and a saddlecloth is, to be perfectly honest. Is it the cut of it? I think it might be. Callie was being a right fidget to try and put a saddle on today. I don't know why, she's usually fairly good, she just obviously wasn't having any of it. Could be to do with the fact that she is still in season, I think, potentially. Then time to actually get on and ride. I nearly got murdered by the cat today when he came round the corner and Callie decided that apparently he was Callie eating. Other than that, a very good pony today, actually. Well, I'm glad I took my coat off. She's made me work for that. She is not feeling like she wants to go very forward today, so a lot of leg required. We've been doing some leg yielding and forward and backwards in the pace, so she's still a baby. Well, she's not actually that much of a baby, but She's now having to spook at the cat. Does anyone have a Pivo or a Pixio, I think is the other one? Do you recommend them? Because I have no one to film and no way to get rid of footage. Apart from doing this, which I obviously can't do when I'm actually schooling. And it'd be quite nice to be able to see videos of how I'm riding, how she's going, I don't know. The enthusiasm is not enthusiasming this morning. Hey, cows. You tired? Yeah, very tired. I'm not entirely sure why. You haven't done an awful lot recently, but, you know, tired girl. Trying to balance and film, it's quite difficult, but I actually think the zips in these might now be going, oh my god, I'm running out of riding boots. Look, I think they're going in 2 places, maybe 3. I mean, they've already got a hole in, but Jesus. I have noticed that Callie has become a lot stronger recently. Not strong to ride, I mean like strong in herself, able to hold herself together more and work more correctly. I've given her plenty of time to mature and not jumped her too much, well, barely at all really, as she's a big horse, but I don't think I really appreciated how weak she really was, mainly in her core, I suppose. For example, doing pole work recently, before when you'd do pole work and you wouldn't have like a perfect stride or a longer stride, she'd just sort of fall back into trot and sometimes even walk, whereas now she can hold herself together, collect slightly and still jump the pole. Well, not jump the pole, you know what I mean, canter the pole. So while I'm panicking about being miles behind everyone else, especially seeing all the age classes starting again for 5-year-olds and her still jumping a maximum of 6 inches, I do think it has done her a good thing in the long run. To be honest, I'm just kind of letting my young horses dictate their own timeline because I'm certainly not in a rush and I usually find that they catch up eventually anyway. Time to pay the carrot tax and give her a quick groom before she goes back out into the field for the rest of the day. Absolutely loving using this metal shedding tool. It seems to really help bring all of her hair out and she seems to quite like it, I think. Well, she's not tried to murder me, at least in the last 5 minutes. Time to reinstall the sausage dog rug. Struggling to know what rugs to put on at the moment, as even the ones that weren't clipped are now looking like they're kind of clipped or their natural summer coat's coming through, and the ones that were clipped are growing their summer coat out, so it's hard to know, and especially with the weather, when it's going cold and yet wet and then warm. I mean, what rugs are we putting on? Help me. Swap time, turning this one back out. I'm gonna get Tushka in. Just waiting for Tushka to have a wee and come in. Goosey's gonna have a strop in a minute, I'm sure. Tushka was up for a light lunge this morning. She has just had a few days off, as last week we had an away competition at the Blue Chip Winter Championships. I do like to give them a few days off after, as because mine usually live out, they do get slightly stressed adjusting to being in a stable for most of the day. Of course I hand walk and hand graze as much as possible, but it still isn't close to what they're used to. Coat back on and I was absolutely frigging freezing. I don't lunge Tushka with anything on other than a bridle and a lunge line. She doesn't have any gadgets on. I don't find that they help her too much. In fact, she actively hates them. Having a little boogie to the radio that I have on in my earphone. Lunging time for Tushka. The mist has come in. Literally, it's so misty now. Super quick and light lunge for Tushka. I just like to get her moving after a few days off, just to get them blood flowing back through her muscles, etc., and get rid of any soreness. To be fair though, the best thing for them when coming back from an away show is being turned out in the field and staying out there for 24 hours a day. It just means she can move as much or as little as she likes. If she's a bit sore, she doesn't have to do too much. Go. quick groom for Tushka, and then back out to her field for the rest of the day. Right, all horses fed. So I'm off to make a mad dash to Sainsbury's before work to try and do an entire food shop. Thanks for joining me for another vlog, a fairly boring, standard, daily morning vlog. But anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Drop a like and a comment if you did. And as ever, subscribe if you want to see more of these. Thanks!